mission, solving mysteries in the night. Chasing shadows, finding answers, shining bright light. No one's left behind in the darkness, all alone. With a heart like a siren, she brings the lost ones home. Silent cries in the dark no longer have to be. For justice wheels keep turning, granny on the beat. Broken voices find their power, call out hope again. When Granny's crime busters run, no victims left in pain. Bravery in her veins, truth she won't disguise. With a fire in her eyes, she's got nothing to deny. Granny fights for justice, never backs down from the call. For the voiceless and the missing, she'll stand tall.
Hello, everybody. We are back. We just did a short live and update on Sebastian Rogers, and now we're back with the Lori Vallow trial, where she is facing conspiracy charges for the red rum of her husband, Charles Vallow. Lori has already been convicted and is serving 3 life sentences for the red rums of her children, JJ Vallow, Tylee Ryan, and for her husband's wife, Tammy Daybell. Her husband, Chad Daybell, is on death row for those same 3 red rums. Very sad case. Lori is playing as her own attorney. I don't know if playing's the word for it, but I mean, she thinks she's doing a good job, I think, but in all actuality, she's really not. Hello, Ginger, Brenda, Joe, good to see you guys. So we're going to get right into it. We are going to listen to her redirect, her cross-examination of her brother, Adam Cox. Now, to give you a little background on this, Adam was the only one in Lori's family, she has quite a big family, that was concerned about Lori's beliefs, that she had gone off the deep end, right? And he had been talking to Lori's husband, Charles Vallow, at the time, on the telephone and through text, and they decided to set up a time for Adam to come to town. He was living, I believe, in Kansas at the time. His work had him traveling places. And he actually didn't have the money to fly there, but Charles paid for his flight to Arizona from Kansas to come. And they were going to do like an intervention. Now, guys, I don't understand Mormon talk, right? Every religion has their own kind of speak, right? Terminology, what have you. But they said that they were going to try to record her talking about light and dark spirits, zombies, all this stuff, to take these recordings to their stake president and to get her temple recommend removed. What does that all mean? I don't know. If you're LDS, maybe you can tell me. In other words, they were going to try to get her, I think, removed from the temple, maybe get her some intervention with the higher ups in the LDS church. Something like that. But they were going to try to shake it up so that she maybe would come to her senses, right? because she had been telling Charles that he was a dark spirit and that spirit's name was Ned, right? She told him that. So, um, you know, Adam was concerned. The rest of her family, according to what Adam said on the stand with the prosecutor, was that they said, "Oh, she's in delusion. Leave her alone. She'll come out it on the other end." Well, that was a huge mistake, wasn't it? Because she ended up taking the life of not only, help conspiring to take the life of not only her husband Charles Vallow, but her son J.J. Vallow right there in Charles' arms. Her daughter Tylee Ryan, her husband's wife Tammy Daybell, and they also attempted to take the life of her niece's husband, Brandon Boudreaux, which that trial is coming right after this one. So let's go ahead. Let's listen. Repent, repent, repent. Let's listen to her cross of her own brother. It amazing, amazing, guys. But let's go ahead and listen to it. This is her brother, Adam Cox, on the stand. I think it's just before Lori starts to cross-examine him.
He would text me or send me a message or something. And then Eric asked me, he goes, "Well, what's his last name?" And I said, Vallow. And he was on his computer and he just Googled Charles Vallow. And he said it popped up that he's been killed by his brother in law.
So you learn this. What is going through your mind now?
Just everything, chaos. I just knot in my stomach. Just probably one of the worst feelings I've ever felt in my life.
Obviously, you had been concerned that something was being planned when you told Charles that on the morning of the 11th, right? But
Well,
not that.
not that, but yeah, it felt like something was off. That why Alex would be at Lori's house that morning.
Did you know your brother Alex to carry guns with him?
Yes,
Did he regularly go shooting with guns?
yes.
Prior to Charles being shot and killed, did you ever tell Lori that you were going to be trying to do this intervention with her?
No,
Um, Prior to Charles being shot, did you ever tell Alex, hey, I'm going to stay with you, but we're trying to do an intervention with Lori?
no,
What about your parents? Did you ever tell them you were going to try to do an intervention?
no,
Your sister Summer?
no,
Hello,
So
chemistry
if your
queen.
sister told detectives a couple hours after Charles was shot that she was confronting Charles about you and Charles talking and texting, it wasn't something that you told her about.
no.
You told us that you are LDS. Have you ever taught Sunday school?
Yes.
Um, can you tell us about the story of Nephi?
Nephi?
Mhm.
Well, Nephi was a prophet in the Book of Mormon. It's the first chapter. He was a prophet, very humble and faithful servant of the Lord. And ironically enough, his brothers tried to kill him at one point. But he actually ended up going to Jerusalem to get these plates back, and he was run off, came back, and then went back again because the Lord asked him to. And when he did, the King Laban, who was actually a wicked king, was laying on the ground drunk in front of him. And Nephi was told to kill Laban.
Who was he told by?
The spirit, or yeah,
Okay.
God.
So God was using a Holy Spirit to tell him to kill Laban. And did
Yes.
he?
Yes, he did.
Was that something he anguished over?
Yes.
But ultimately, it was a justified killing.
Yes.
So was the concept that it was better for Nephi to kill this one evil man and sort of benefit the nation and his descendants?
Yes.
Were you aware that that your sister had told people that Charles was possessed by evil spirits?
Yes.
Were you aware that your sister had told people that your brother-in-law Charles was dark?
Objection. Calls for hearsay.
It's whether or not he was aware of it.
Whether or
Yes
not
or
he's
no?
aware, he can answer yes or no.
Yes.
When you and Charles were talking about this intervention, were you trying to help your sister come back to mainstream LDS beliefs?
Yes.
So it wasn't just Charles, but also her.
Yes.
You told us that your friend had Googled and learned that Charles was killed. Did you know at that time it was by your brother Alex?
That's what the article said. So yes, he told me that.
What did you do after you learned that?
Freaked out for a little bit, cried, didn't know what to do. Thought my world was coming apart. Then I got angry a little bit, and then called first thing I did, I called Kay, who's Charles's sister, and asked her, because she's the only one that I felt safe calling after knowing my family was involved in this or thinking of this, that I asked her if she knew that Charles was dead, and she said she just learned of it too.
Did you learn from your friend when, because it's now the 13th when you learned this, right?
Yes.
Did you learn when that happened?
Yes, I did.
So you knew on that Saturday, the 13th, that Charles had been killed that morning
Yes.
of July 11th.
Yes.
Did you ever come back to Phoenix and confront anyone in your family about this or talk to them about it?
Yes. After I talked to Kay, then I called my mom and asked her if she knew that Charles was dead. And she said yes. And I said, "What's going on?" And she said, "You tell me what's going on." And at that point, I thought that was bizarre that she would say that. So I said, "Well, we need to sit down and talk." And she said, "Yes, we do." And so me and Zach got in the car and drove back to Phoenix.
Did you go to your mom's house?
Yes, I did.
Did that conversation go well?
No.
Did this create a break in your relationship with your mom?
Yes.
Did you stick up for Charles?
Yes.
Did sticking up for Charles create issues between you and most of your family?
Yes.
Did you continue to stick up for Charles even with that happening?
Yes.
After you had that argument with your mom, what did you do?
Me and Zach left her house and we were staying at Summer's house, my sister, who was away on vacation. And we were staying at her house and we went back to her house. We were watching her dog.
You were supposed to leave the next morning, Sunday, to go back to Wichita. Did you return back home?
Yes, we did.
Did your son go with you this time?
Yes, he did.
After this whole incident happened, did you not talk with your family for a long time?
Yes.
Did it cause a lot of friction in your family?
Well, guys, I really feel bad for him. He was the only smart one in the family at that time, in the immediate family. um, they were blaming him because he was trying to do an intervention with Charles. And he was standing up for Charles. Charles was red rummed. I understand that it was difficult for his mom to accept what Lori did, what Lori and Alex did, her son and her daughter, right? I get that, but just the dynamics here of what was going on and how Adam must have felt because he was trying to get the truth out. He was trying to get his family to see how whacked out Lori was, right? And they couldn't see it, right? Now, if they had all banded together, maybe, just maybe, they could have stopped Lori, because it was after this that she ended up taking the life of her 2 children and Tammy Daybell, of which she's been convicted for, guys. This is just, I it leaves me somewhat speechless because I feel for Adam. I really do. But even more than that, I feel for Colby, Lori's son. I watched him this morning. He was going over yesterday's testimony, and Colby was actually in the courtroom today, and he was worried. He was worried that he would not be able to contain himself at some of the things that Lori says, because like yesterday, if you remember what she did, yeah, her comments, her snide comments, and kept saying, my husband, you were sleeping, you were dating a married man, and that was okay. But Colby was saying, like, hey, you were sleeping with Chad Daybell. Who are you to talk, right? Colby was just upset. So he was really concerned that he wouldn't be able to control himself today in the courtroom. But from the sounds of it, I think he did. I think he did all right. But my goodness, this family has been through so much because of this woman. It's horrific.
Yes.
Have you started to try to talk with your family some?
Yes.
I have no other questions, Your Honor.
Okay, here comes a cross with Lori. So imagine how this feels for Adam to have his sister on cross with him.
Mr. Cox, how long has it been since we've seen each other in person?
Don't know.
He is her brother, and she called him Mr. Cox. Wow.
When was the last time you saw me?
I don't recall.
So, has it been a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 6
Something like
years,
that.
7 years, 8 years?
Something.
Okay. So, you have no idea.
Nope.
You have no idea when the last time you saw me in person.
I don't know the year or how many years it's been.
Okay. So, did you see me at Colby's wedding in January 2018?
No, I was not there.
You didn't come to Colby's wedding.
No, I did not.
So, did you see me sometime that year at my house?
Possibly.
where Colby got married? That house,
I did see you at that house. Yes.
at least one time.
Yes.
So possibly in 2018.
Yes.
And when was the last time we had any communications?
The last time I remember our communications was you and I were speaking in the kitchen when the family was over.
Okay, so you think that was that time in 2018?
I think so.
Okay. And were we eating my green chili chicken enchiladas?
Do not remember that.
You do not remember that?
Guys, please tell me why it's important for him to remember that he was eating her green chili chicken enchiladas. Seriously. I mean, oh my goodness. That's a really important part of this trial, right? Oh my gosh. Oh.
Nope.
Is that what I made every time we had a family get together, which was like 10 times a year?
I don't remember that.
Okay. And when was the last time that we had a phone call or text message?
I have no idea.
Could it possibly be around that exact same time?
Possibly.
Okay. So that was possibly in early 2018?
Yes.
Okay.
Think about how cold and calculating this woman is, because she is the best cook ever. Well, she's a narcissist, so she's good at everything, isn't she? I mean, she's good at being a lawyer. She can do whatever she wants, and she's good at it. Oh my gosh. So, this woman, how cold and calculating is she that she can sit there and ask her brother questions? Now, one of the things that I've seen with her is she's trying to ask everybody that's up on the stand. Remember with Nancy Joe yesterday, I believe that was her name. Um, she was asking her times and everything, and like, what time were you texting that night after dinner? 10:30 until when? Could it have been? And and it was like, why? Why is that important? She never got to that point as to why that was important. Why is it important of her last contact with him? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Green chili chicken enchiladas, right? Oh.
Who do you think initiated the final communication in our relationship?
Who concluded it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So right now it's 2025, is that correct?
Yes.
And so
No,
we haven't
Lori,
spoken in
it's not
about
2025.
8 years?
It's
Is that
2030.
correct?
It's probably 7 or 8 years.
So would you say up until that point that
Guys, Nancy Joe had to correct her on her math yesterday twice, and now again. Lori's strong suit is not math. She said 8 years. He goes, well, that would be 7 years, because she gave the dates. Oh, is that hilarious? She, oh,
how often would we communicate before that?
Before what?
Before 2018?
Probably on a regular basis. Once a month, twice a month, 3 times a month.
Like a call or a text message?
Yes.
Just keeping in touch?
Yes.
You know of us living in Hawaii and you were living in Kansas at the time?
Yes.
And in your career, you lived in lots of different places. Is that correct?
Yes.
Austin,
Yes.
Dallas,
Yes.
New York,
Yes.
Why is this important?
Wichita,
Yes.
Sacramento.
Yes.
Did I miss anything?
Others.
And I was in Texas,
Yes.
Arizona,
Yes.
Hawaii.
Yes.
So would you say that we were not physically close during the past 20 years?
Yes, I would say that.
So our communication would be solely family get-togethers, occasional text messages. Is that correct?
And phone calls, yes.
Okay. So, Mr. Cox, did you see or
Mr.
hear
Cox.
or personally witness me conspire with my brother Alex Cox to murder my husband Charles Vallow?
Mr. Cox, did you personally witness or hear me talking about conspiring with my brother? Remember, this is her brother, and Alex was his brother too. What is the matter with her? Is this her way of trying to cope? That she can't even look at him as her brother? Nothing with green and chicken together sounds good to me. So, actually, Ginger, I do make chicken enchiladas. I call them chicken enchiladas. I don't call them green chili chicken enchiladas, but I do put green chilies in them. Okay. A very small can because they're hot. You know, it's kind of the point of enchiladas. So I do make chicken enchiladas with green chilies in it. But it's funny how she calls them her green chili chicken enchiladas. She must put a lot of chili in them. I don't know. They are spicy. What do you think? Is this her way of, or is she just trying to stick it to him? What do you think? Is it her way of trying to cope, or is she just trying to stick it to her brother by calling him Mr. Cox, by saying my brother Alex Cox, who's his brother too? I really want to know what you guys think. So let me know. Do you think she's sticking it to him, or do you think it's her way of coping? Let me know in the comments.
Repeat that again.
Okay. Did you see with your eyes or hear with your ears or personally witness me conspire with my brother Alex Cox to murder my husband Charles Vallow?
No.
Thank you. No more questions.
Redirect?
Have you talked to your sister since Charles was shot and killed?
No.
So, since that happened, you cut off all communications with her?
Yes.
Prior to that, you were being asked about 2018 being at Lori and Charles's house. Was that the time where Lori told you she was becoming a celestial being?
Yes.
And the time where she was telling you other ideas that were not in line with the LDS faith?
Yes.
After you had heard those statements by your sister, you told us that she had asked you if you thought she was crazy, right?
Yes.
And you had responded back how?
I don't know if you're crazy, but what you're telling me is not true.
After you told her that her beliefs were not true, did that sort of end your talking with her?
Yes.
You were asked if you personally saw, heard your sister Lori conspire to kill Charles. Were you there that morning?
No.
Were you the person who was supposed to, though, be with Alex on the 10th into the morning of the 11th? You spent the night with him?
If I would have spent the night with him, yes.
So that stood out to you because you had made plans with your brother, right?
Yes.
And instead, you learned he was at Lori's house.
Yes.
You told us that you thought it was odd that your brother would be over at your sister's house at 7:30 in the morning.
Yes.
And you were aware that your brother had guns.
Yes.
Charles was going there to pick up JJ, right?
Yes.
And so did it seem odd to you that your brother would bring a gun that was loaded with extra magazines that was not safe to your sister's house where JJ was?
Objection, out of scope. This is not just
Goes to the
a
conspiracy.
redirect. This is not just a redirect.
Hey, I didn't ask for argument. Okay. The objection's overruled.
What's the question?
Sure. Did it stand out to you that your brother, who knew JJ, would bring a loaded gun and extra ammunition to the house where JJ was running around?
Well,
It
I
wasn't-
didn't know at the time.
Yeah.
You're saying afterwards?
Yeah, you learned afterwards your brother killed him, right?
Yes.
And when we're talking about this conspiracy and things that are going on, did that seem odd to you that your brother would bring a loaded gun and extra ammunition in this unsafe way to a house where your sister's son, JJ, lived?
Yeah, it seems extreme.
When you were talking to your family after this happened, did you actually tell them that you believed that Lori and Alex had conspired to kill Charles?
Yes.
Why was that?
Because Lori had told people that Charles was no longer living, that some guy named Ned was inside of his body, that there was a zombie living inside of him. And Alex didn't respond to any of my text messages when I was supposed to be with him. And he was at that house that morning. Lori talking crazy about how she's a translated being. All these things all added up into that moment and that morning. Once I found out on Saturday that Charles was shot and killed, no doubt on my mind that they killed him.
Wow.
That's a feeling that I got.
And you told your family that?
Yes.
No other questions?
Wow, guys. So let's think. Yeah. I am pretty sure you are to separate yourself from those that fall away from. Yeah, I'm exactly. You You think she's a nutcase. Gotcha. Celestial being. I know, right? So let's think about what the jury is hearing now, guys. Okay. So we know that they didn't know. They don't know about JJ or they're not supposed to know. Okay. They don't know about JJ, Tylee, and Tammy being dead. Okay. Because this, even though the trial is after the other trial, this actually happened before they died, right? This kind of was the catalyst, the first part of everything, right? So now they're hearing Lori put a string around her finger to make it look like it was a wedding band, okay? She keeps saying my husband, my husband. Now they're hearing that she was having an affair with Chad Daybell. She her own brother thought she was going wacko and was trying to do an intervention with her husband at the time. You know, an intervention that's to try to help someone, right? That's always what an intervention is. Always. It's to try to help somebody, right? Now they're learning that they were trying to step in and help her. But what does she do? She conspires with her other brother to Red Rum, her husband. And guys, I'm surprised she didn't have her other brother go after Adam. I mean, if you think about it, and they just heard on the stand that her own brother, thought that she and Alex conspired to Red Rum Charles together. Now, if you were a jury, what would you be thinking? You don't even know about JJ and Tylee and Tammy's deaths yet. What would you be thinking? And think about Lori. Her son sitting in that courtroom, she had to have seen him. He told her that he will never talk to her again. He told her that she would never be a grandma to his children. Your own son tells you that. And he's in the courtroom today for his uncle. I mean, right? It's insane. And when you look at everything that this family is going through because of her, and she doesn't see it. I really do think she thinks she is a celestial being, Ginger. I do. I think she thinks she is chosen to lead the 144,000 with Chad. How they're going to do that from prison, I don't know. God's going to miraculously snatch them up out of there, I guess. I mean, anything is possible, right? The Book of Mormon, talking about Nephi. I'm just not familiar with that. I could see where she took that and, went to the next level with it. Talking about translated, meaning taken up into the air to see Jesus, right? I'm not making fun of any religion, but I do know that there are good Mormon people out there, and she's just not one of them. And her own brother told her that she was wrong. She said, "Do you think I'm crazy?" And he said, "I don't know if you're crazy, but your beliefs are wrong." That was a good answer on his part. Now, I do know that Adam and Lori's uncle have a podcast that they're doing together. I have only just seen snippets of it. I can imagine. I think I'd probably like to see what he has to say after all this. I'm glad that he's there because he was there for Charles in the beginning, and I'm glad that he's there for Charles now to see justice for Charles. So I'm glad that he's there. I think that's a good thing. I know that Charles' sister is in the courtroom. Today, Colby is. I don't know if he's going to be there the rest of the week or not, Colby, but I know he was today for his uncle, to support his uncle, and I give him credit for that. But yeah, it just blows my mind that someone can get so caught up in religious fantasy that they can think the things that they did are okay, taking people's lives. Just really, really sad. Really sad, in my opinion. The next person that was on the stand was one of the women who used to come to her house meetings, right? And she talked about how Lori had said that there were zombies. And Lori kind of said, did I say that directly from my mouth? And the prosecutor said, argumentative. And then the judge told her to rephrase her question, but she still kept getting snarky with this woman. She wanted to know exactly what she said, right? And how did she know it was her? And one of the last questions that I saw before it was time to go live was, why would I be speaking? Well, I mean, if it's a group of people having a Bible study, aren't you all going to talk at one point or another? Right. And I thought, wow. And if it was at Lori's house, she obviously was leading the Bible study, especially if she was talking about zombies, because nobody else believed in the zombies that Lori was talking about. So it had to come from Lori, right? Not to mention, it's in Lori's texts and everything else, which is going to come out, But yeah, we've been seeing some pretty explosive testimony. I was surprised that her testimony with her brother was so short. And I have a feeling it was because it did bother her, and also because Colby was in the courtroom. I really think that bothered her. And I think that Colby is going to have some words to say about Lori calling her own brother Mr. Cox. That's pretty sad. I think that even if I wasn't talking to my brother, I'd still call him by his name. I wouldn't call him Mr. Cox or, whatever his last name was. Just strange woman, right? But So that's what's going on today. I don't know if there's anybody else up on the stand as of right now, but that's what's been going on. And I'll continue to pull bits and pieces from the stand, but I want to know from you guys, from what we've heard so far, do you think she'll be found guilty or not guilty of conspiracy to commit red rum of her husband, Charles Vallow? Guilty or not guilty? Tell me what you think. I'm curious. We're 4 days into the trial. So let me know what you're thinking. Everybody awake? Guilty, not guilty? What do you think so far? If you were on the jury. Have you seen enough evidence, do you think, so far? Or do you still think there's more evidence to come that you'd want to wait and see? While you're doing that, I am going to share my grannyism from today. Ginger says, guilty, bring out the electric chair and shock some sense into her. And that's a really sad thing is that Chad got the death penalty and he could actually go before the firing squad in Idaho. Gotcha. You missed so much of it. Gotcha. Yeah, I think she's guilty, but it's hard for us to, since we know what she did, killing her children, right? It's a no-brainer that she killed Charles for us. The insurance money, that's still got to come out. Kay Vallow is going to still get up on the stand. Oh, that was a Maybe I will find that clip and play that tomorrow, where Lori is talking to the insurance company and she finds out that she's no longer the beneficiary of Charles' $1 million policy. Oh, she was angry. um, and all I've got to say to that is, Charles, you did the right thing. Oh my goodness, he did the right thing but the sad part about it is that he left the $1 million policy to his sister so that she would make sure JJ got it, right? JJ didn't live to get to see any part of that, right? But I'm glad that Lori didn't get it. So that's still going to come out yet, And my grannyism for today says the truth always comes out in the end, no matter how hard anyone tries to hide it. Lies are just a temporary delay to the inevitable. When I saw this today, I thought, yeah, and the truth did come out in the end on Lori, right? It came out completely. No matter how hard she tried to fight it, it came out in the end. It's inevitable. Her lies, temporary delay. And guys, we can apply this to the Sebastian Rogers case as well, right? The truth always comes out in the end. We're gonna find truth in Sebastian's case, especially now that all those billboards are going up, guys. I can't. Something's got to pop here. Something's got to give really quickly, in my opinion, in his case. So we'll continue, even though I know it's not really popular, but we're going to continue following this case. I will continue, guys, to give updates on Sebastian's case, just like I did earlier today. I will continue to do that, okay? It's not that I'm never going to talk about Sebastian again. It's just that I'm not going to get in with all the drama. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. When something comes out, some news, any updates, anything, yes, I'll be on top of it. I promise you that. I'll go live. I don't care. Unless I'm actually sleeping when I'm not on my computer, I will go live and we'll talk about it. But I want to thank you guys for being here. A little bit shorter than usual, but that's all right. I want to thank you for being here, and please hit the like button on your way out, and we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night. Thank you for watching another episode of Granny's Crime Busters. We really appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to subscribe and like and even share the content. You can follow us on any of our other social media platforms at YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We really appreciate you guys, and you can also email us at granniescrimebusters@gmail.com. Thank you so much, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.